The DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This is an interesting camera, and I've had it for over 60 days, guys. Probably closer to 3 months, but I want to talk to you about my likes so far with this camera. So let's get started. My name is Jim McKay, and welcome to the Jim McKay Tech Vlog. My first like on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is gimbal stabilized low light video. That's the number one thing that comes to my mind with this camera, because it has a gimbal and a 1-inch sensor. It's able to get nice stabilization on my low light videos, and also I don't have to mess with my shutter speed. So I'm able to keep my shutter speed at a good cinematic setting, and this camera gets great results. So it outperforms action cameras I own, and it even outperforms some full frame cameras I own as well. I find this camera really performs well, and the image quality is very good. I'm very impressed with it. In fact, in 4K, I think this camera competes quite well with my full frame cameras. Is it as good as maybe my latest, most update full frame cameras? No, it isn't. But it's really close. And it's so good that in most ways, it's just the more convenient option. Take this little form factor of this thing, comparing it to carrying around a big full frame camera, this is just easier. The default settings on this camera produce great results. Now, I have tweaked a couple settings on my camera. I've tweaked sharpness, I lowered the sharpness on the camera, and I honestly can't remember what the other setting was. There's another thing I changed. While I was filming this review, I realized something I hadn't known about this camera. I film everything in normal mode, but when I look at the fine print in the normal mode menu, it's actually 10-bit video. I didn't realize that. I thought I was filming in 8-bit. So if I film in just the regular, flip the screen, start the camera recording, I'm in normal mode, 10-bit, which gives me great dynamic range. The video looks fantastic. I put it in my editor. I'm very pleased with the results. I don't worry about matching it with other cameras, because most of the time these days I'm filming solely on the Osmo Pocket 3 because I like the results. It's very flexible and easy to take with me. So, and yes, the results are great. This camera is quick to set up and easy to use. That's an important like for me, because one of the reasons I wanted to try out the Pocket 3 was to see if it could be a replacement for my iPhone 14. I wanted something that I could carry around with me and be able to pull out quickly and use easily, because the phone is pretty easy to use and pretty fast to set up. But with physical controls on this small body of this camera and the very fast on-off where you flip the screen to start it and stop it, I find this is actually a little faster than using my camera and a little more intuitive. I just find that my fingers reach to the right places faster on this than they will with the phone, because there's some physical response. You've got a tactile response of the feel of buttons and the texture of the little toggle switch that moves the gimbal around. So I find this is actually a little easier to use, a little faster to set up than my phone. Other people may have a different opinion, but for me, that's a good like. This camera is portable and small. Again, I wanted something to replace my iPhone 14, and I wanted something small enough to be able to fit in my pocket. It's called the Pocket 3, but it is a little bigger than some pockets. It fits great in my parka that I use. I have a big parka for the cold weather here in Canada. It's great for some of the big pockets there, but it is very portable. I'd say it's at least as portable as my phone is, and it's very easy to use. So it gets a thumbs up for that. It does replace my phone for its portability and the small size. This camera has great battery life and really fast recharging. Now, I'm a little nervous that the battery is actually built into the camera, so that's something that hopefully this is going to be a pro long term. Hopefully the camera battery will last, but it is a little bit of a worry for me. But right now the battery life is tremendous, and I have never had the battery run out on me during a filming situation. I always get to a certain level where I say, okay, well, I'm going to have to recharge. And the good point about recharging is that it's fast. It's really fast. Like the first time I recharged it, I just set it up and left it and kind of forgot about it. And in a few minutes, bam, like the thing is fully recharged. And I'm thinking, is that really recharged? Like my first thought is that doesn't seem long enough, but it is super fast. Like this charges very quickly. So both of those things are likes for me. I just find that battery life is never a question for me. There may be people that are going to film and film and film and film, and maybe it becomes an issue and they need to buy the extra battery, but I have not bought the extra battery that you can include with this and to be able to give it more battery life, and I'm completely happy with what I have so far. The Osmo Pocket 3 has a simple interface and a responsive touch screen. There may be not a lot that I have to say about this, but it's got a very small touch screen on the camera, but it's very responsive. You press in certain points, especially around the corners of the screen, and it brings up menus and layers of menus, and they make sense to me. I found it pretty intuitive and pretty quick for me to learn, and I feel like it's not my favorite thing to have to go through menus, but on this camera, I find that it works for me and I'm able to get things done with it. The combination of the f2 lens and the 1-inch sensor results in good low light performance with the camera and a blurry background. And that adds to what a lot of people might call more cinematic video. I know it's overused, the word cinematic, but I think it does add this kind of quality that people are looking for in their footage, where you can focus on something in the foreground and have the background blurred out a little bit to give it just this creamier, more interesting look, where you're isolating your subject from the background. A lot of people are looking for that. You can get that with this camera, and it looks quite nice. So what's my final verdict on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 after this time period for me? I'm happy that I can use this camera and replace my iPhone in most situations. I'm happy that I can use this camera and it replaces a lot of my full frame equipment in most situations. It may not get me the same kind of results as I'm going to get with my more expensive full frame cameras in 4K, but the results are so good and so similar that I'm just happy to have this smaller, more portable, more accessible solution that I can take with me everywhere, and even in low light situations it performs quite well. So for me, it's a win. I'd say also for someone who uses their phone a lot in video production, but they want to get away from their phone, they want to use it more for business or for their phone calls, this would be an excellent choice for someone like that. And again, somebody who wants to maybe leave their more professional equipment at home and still be able to get great results, this camera is, again, an excellent choice for them. And you throw in the fact that it has so many useful tools, the time-lapse features and the slow motion features, the 4K and the full HD, the 10-bit video, and the gimbal that can, I'm not always happy with the tracking, but it does have tracking modes. And there are features that I think will only improve over time. There may be updates they make to this camera to make it even more useful going forward. I'd say this is a camera that a lot of people are going to find is maybe going to be a game changer for them. For vlogging, it's a great solution. So thank you again for watching my video, guys. Again, my name is Jim McKay. This is the Jim McKay Tech Vlog. If you've liked what you've seen, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and please hit the like button. It really helps my channel a lot. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.